So not only does this planner cover keep your planner clean, because I know I'm probably not the only one that takes it like in my car. Sometimes it's in the kitchen, sometimes it's in the living room, sometimes I just have to toss it here or there, and I take it everywhere with me. But not only does it keep it clean, but it also is a great way to carry your stickers or other important papers that you use when you plan. This planner cover is made with 2 planner sleeves here, or 2 planner pockets, so that your cover, your back cover and your front cover can fit inside. And then it's also got 2 pockets here that you can put your little templates or your stickers. I like to just take my back cover like so, and I like to stick it in there, close, I keep my ruler on the front, and then I close it up and I snap it. But what you could do is you could put the front cover as well inside this one, so that they're both. It is more snug that way, but for some reason I just like being able to open this, and I just like the freedom, and I like to be able to see the cover, right? That's the whole point, that we get the cover and we get our customized name on there. So real quick, I also want to talk what kind of fabric to use and what the interface looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that. I highly recommend that for the planner cover you only use cotton. Cotton holds up really well. It's easy to spot wash, you know, to hand wash if your planner cover gets dirty. Today I'm going to be using this really fun kind of rainbow mermaid print. I found this at Walmart when we were there for groceries, and I bought the whole bolt because I know fabric is going so fast these days, and I was like, I don't know when this is ever going to be out again. One thing to note also is that you do not have to pre-wash it for this project. Usually I recommend that you pre-wash your cotton. If you already have cotton that you're going to use and it's been pre-washed, it's fine. It's totally fine. But if you're getting cotton from the store, you do not have to go through the hassle of getting it pre-washed. You can just use it, you know, straight as it is. And then also I just want to mention that the interface I'm going to be using today, you don't have to use this interface if you're just trying to use what you have. You know, you've got some fabric, you've got a sewing machine, you've got your planner, you want to give it a go, that's fine. But just keep this in mind, that your planner cover is not going to have the stiffness. It's not going to have like the durability that it would have if you would put the Pellon fuse in there. I actually have my Pellon 809 in a bolt, but you guys can also find it, I believe, at Walmart, or maybe even like a craft store. You can find it in just like a little package, and it just comes with a little bit because you don't need that much. Real quick, let's talk about the construction of this planner. So I'm going to go ahead and take my planner out. So we have 5 basic pieces to this planner and 5 different constructions that I'm going to be showing you throughout this video. The first one is, or the first piece is this outer piece. You guys can pick any fabric that you want for this that's cotton. This is where it gets really fun because you don't have to do the entire planner in the same fabric. You can kind of color coordinate and pick different fabrics. So the first construction piece, or the first piece to this, is the outer cover. The second part is this inner cover here, which is also the same size as this. It's also the same size as this. And I'm going to show you guys all these measurements in a second. I'm just talking about the planner so you kind of understand the basic construction of it. So we have the outer cover, we have the inner cover, then we have these planner, I'm going to call these planner pockets. Okay, and this is all one piece inside here. So you have 2 of those on each side, and then you have the sticker pocket. So you have this one, and this one has the floral behind it. Okay, and then the 5th one that you have is the flap. This is what comes over and what snaps together. Okay, so let me show you what you're going to need to cut out for your planner cover. Your first piece you're going to need to cut out is an 18 by 10.75 inch cover. This is what you're going to see on the outside of the planner. Then you're going to need the inside of your planner. So again, let me show you which one that is. So this one's going to be here. That's what's going to be underneath all of this. And this one is also 18 by 10.75. Then you need to cut out 2 pieces for your planner pockets. So these pieces are 10.75 by 14, and then what you're going to do is you're going to take it to the iron and you're going to fold them in half like so. Okay, so this is, if you were looking at your planner set up right now, you know, the construction of your planner, this is where the back and the front cover of your planner would slide in. Then for your sticker pockets, you're going to need a 7 by 7, so 7 inch by 7 inch piece for whatever you want to show from the front of the sticker pocket, and then this is going to be the inside. Okay, so you need 4 of those, and then this is for the little flap that our cam snaps go on to close the planner. And these measure 5 by 3 inches. so once you get all your pieces, you've got your flap, you've got your planner or your sticker pockets, then you've got your planner pockets, right, for your planner to fall into. You set those all aside. You've got your cover of your planner cover, and then you have the inside. This is the inside piece. And you set all those aside, and then what you want to do is also cut out some interface. So this is pretty simple. All you do is you cut a piece of 3 by 5 inches for your flap. So let's grab those so you guys can see. So here's your flap, and then you just want one piece, and you're just going to fuse this together like so on one side. Set that aside. Then you're going to take your sticker pockets, and you're going to find your sticker pockets, which are right here. And you're just going to take the pretty side, or the side that's going to show. Set these babies aside, get these two, and then you're going to fuse a piece to this on the wrong side. I will mention, don't do it on the pretty side, right? That's kind of a no-brainer, but I better mention that. Do it on the wrong side, or the not pretty side. So fuse this one, set it aside. Fuse this one, set it aside. Okay, and then grab your, let's see, grab your planner pockets. So I like to kind of line these up as if they were going into my planner. And then since these are folded in half, what we're gonna do is we're gonna open it up. We're gonna place this inside like that. And then you can take your iron and press. Okay. Do the same on the other side. Place it inside and press. And then once those are pressed, set those aside into your pile, ready to go. And then you don't need to do anything with the inside piece to your planner. And then grab your outside cover and your interface that measures all the same. This makes it really easy for cutting out. Everything is just, you know, whatever the size of this is, that's the same size that you want to make your interface. So you would just get your iron, you place it over like so, and then you press. One thing I want to mention when you're using the Pellon 809, one side is the fusible and one side is just a normal kind of matte. The fusible side is going to, I don't know if I'll be able to see it on the camera, but do you see how that kind of shimmers a little bit in the light? Are you guys able to see that? It shimmers, and then this side is more of a matte. So look, get some light, or go looking through the windows if you can't really see it, if you have a hard time seeing, because it's really important that you have the fusible side, the shiny side, on the wrong side of your fabric, so that that is what presses to your cotton. I'm talking from experience, but if you get the iron on the fusible side, you know, if you were to put your iron down on this, it is a nightmare to get it off of your iron. So just take your time, don't rush through this project, just enjoy the process. But and then also when you go to your ironing board and you set this down, you've got the shiny side against the back of your cotton. You're not, when I say iron, it's kind of hard to say iron. I really need to say press with this project, because when you take the iron, you're not ironing this out, right? You're not taking your iron and ironing it out, because that will stretch your cotton. You're more of pressing it. With the Pellon, with the interface, you want to press it. So you'd come with your iron, you press. I like to kind of start in the middle, and I'm picking up the iron and I'm holding it there for 10 seconds, 12 seconds. It'll tell you how long you need to hold there on your directions. And I work my way towards the outside, but I'm not pressing and stretching the cotton. All right, so let's start with your flap. First thing you're gonna do, now that you have your interface fused to one side, is you're gonna match the right sides together. You're gonna take this to your machine, and you're gonna start here, you're gonna backstitch, you're gonna sew all the way to the corner, you're gonna pivot at the corner, come across here, pivot again with your needle down, and down to the end, and backstitch. And then we're gonna come back to this table and flip it inside out. Okay, and then grab whatever it is you're going to use to push your corners out. I like to use an orange peeler because it's got a nice like edged corner, but it's not too sharp, so it's not going to go through my fabric. And all we're going to do is just push those corners out so they're nice and crisp. I've given this a nice press on the ironing board, just set that aside. Okay, so now we're going to do the second piece to our planner, which is our cover, and we're going to install the cam snaps. So go ahead and grab your cam snaps, and you need the pliers, you need the awl, and then you just need to pick out the color that you want. I'm going to use white today. Actually, I'm going to do these pink ones. And you need 2 of the prongs or the caps. And then you're gonna need 2 of the, oh, I only have one of those pink ones, so I'll just go ahead and grab a white. No biggie. And then you're gonna need 2 of the male ends. Okay, so get that out of the way. Okay, so then you need to decide which way your planner cover is gonna sit. So like if you're looking at your planner, let me grab this one. So like I had to decide which was gonna be the bottom and the top, you know, when I open it. So that's the way I'm gonna do it with this fabric, exactly how it looks right now. So I know that I wanna come over here and I wanna put my snaps in. So grab your pen and your ruler, and you're just gonna come through here, scooch your little snaps and all your hardware out of the way. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna find the center here. So we know this is 10.75, and half of 10.75 is 5 1/4. So I'm just gonna make a mark right there on the edge. Okay, so I've made a little mark here. And then after I find my half, all I'm gonna do is just take this and I wanna make a dot right here at the 1 inch mark, and then again at the 2 inch mark. And this is where our snaps are gonna go, so that when our little flap piece comes over, which we do very last, the flap you do very, very last, and you put the other 2, the female ends of the snaps in. That way you can put your planner in, gauge how big it's gonna be, and then you can put your snaps, you can lay your flap over your snaps here on this, and then you'll be able to make a mark and get it perfect. But you guys will see all that at the end. So grab your awl, and then find your dots. Careful not to poke yourself. And you're gonna make a hole here, then find your 1 inch mark, make a hole here. And I'm gonna turn this so you guys can see it a little bit better. Let's turn it this way. I'm right-handed, so I kinda need it to be this way. And then I'm gonna grab one of these caps with the prong. I'm gonna go underneath, find that 1 inch hole, and poke it through. So now you can see the little prong is sticking up here. Let me zoom in a little bit for you guys. There we go, that's better. Zoomed in for you guys. So now you can see the prong is right here. And then grab your male end, which looks like this. Okay. And get your pliers and go ahead and just install it. You do not need to squeeze the hell out of this thing, okay? Give it a squeeze, but don't kill it because you're gonna bunch your fabric up around this, and you could possibly break your cam snaps depending on the quality. Okay, and then grab the next one, find the 2 inch hole, put that through. So now we have a little prong sticking out here for the 2 inch hole. Male snap. Okay, and then of course, since we're done with this piece, I'm gonna go over, give this a nice little press, and then I'm gonna set it aside with my flap. And then as far as your third construction piece, the back of your cover, or I should say the inside piece that lays under all the pockets, there's nothing you need to do with this, so you can go ahead and just set this aside. Okay, so now for the fourth piece, we have the planner pocket. So this is the part that the back cover and the front cover are gonna go into. All you need to do for this, since you've already fused your interface on the outside, like so, all you need to do is take this to the machine and just put a nice stitch here right on the edge, maybe like 3/8 of an inch away from it. And all this does is just kind of give it a nice professional look, and it just keeps this together. Okay, so now you guys have the fifth and final piece to your planner cover. I promise you that this seems like it's gonna take forever. You're not gonna be able to do it. This is a step-by-step for beginners. I'm making this for beginners, so don't get frustrated. The cutting out and the putting on of the interface and this part and just kind of getting it all light, that's the hardest part. Like, it's gonna come together very fast once we get all 5 of our pieces ready to go. So bear with me, okay? You're almost there. So here is the sticker pocket, and this is the pretty side that you're gonna see when you open up your planner cover. This is the side that you wanna see. And then this is the side that's gonna be behind it. So what you wanna do, and the reason we put this behind it, you know, the reason it's a 2-piece is because we wanna make a finished edge so you don't have any fray coming out. So I'm just gonna lay that on here and line that up, and I'm gonna grab my pins. And I want to sew just these 2 sides. So that's the only sides I'm gonna pin. This is so fun, you guys. I can't wait to like show you the construction here in a minute. It's just neat to see how it all comes together, and it just gives you so many cool ideas for fabrics and making planner. As we don't have enough to already obsess about with planners, now you're gonna have know how to make your own cover, and you'll be able to do Disney or florals or you know, according to the seasons. Like, it's gonna be really cool. Okay, so this one we have these sides pinned because we're gonna sew these sides only. And then on this side, we're only gonna sew these sides only, which is pretty easy to keep track of because you can see where your pins are. So then one more here. And these pins are not gonna hurt your cotton and they're not gonna hurt your interface, so don't worry about that. Okay, so then I'm gonna go to the machine and I'm gonna sew these edges here, right? Make sure you've got your right side. This is the same color on both sides, so for this one it doesn't really matter, but make sure you have your right side facing your right side, so you should see the wrong sides here on the outside. Go to your machine, sew these, and then come back and we'll flip them out. Okay, so now grab your scissors, make sure you cut off all your threads here. And I am gonna make just a little bit of a correction to myself. I said 7 inches by 7 inches, but they're actually 7 1/4 inches by 7 inches, and I'll tell you why. Because when you take this, you put your thumb right here in the corner, and you flip it out, get that corner out really nice. Set this one over here. Okay, flatten this, just kind of hand flatten it. You can iron it here in a second, but just for right now, hand flatten it. Okay, so when you take your planner pocket like so, and you've got this sticker pocket all pressed out, and then you come through here, let's go like that. Here's the opening, the part that's gonna get sewn in, and then here's the part that the cover is gonna go underneath. When you lay your pocket on top of it, if it were 7 inches by 7 inches, it would be, line this up here with the corners, it would be a little bit short here. It would end up looking more like that, and we don't want to leave any room for this to not catch, you know, for this sticker pocket to not catch when we sew it all together. So just make it about 7 inches by 7 1/4 inches, and then you know that your 7 1/4 inches goes this way and your 7 inches go this way. And you guys can kind of, like, after you make 1 or 2 of these, you guys can kind of play with the measurements as far as, like, you might want to put a couple of pockets in here. Just keep in mind that this interface is going to be a little bit hard on your machine as far as going through if you get 3 or 4 layers of it. So all you'd have to do is just cut your interface piece down a little bit so that it's not here, it doesn't come all the way to the edge, and then you don't have that extra thickness of interface. But that's the fun part. You guys can go through that. I'm just showing you a basic 1 pocket. So what I'm going to do is, again, on my planner pocket here is the edge. It's going to be caught in the whole, you know, the construction of it, and then here's where your cover, your actual cover of your planner will go through. So lay your sticker pocket on there like so, line it up, make sure you've got it where it's supposed to be, and grab your pins. And all we're going to be doing is sewing right here, just a nice finished edge there, just to keep the pocket in place. I would go about 1/4 away from the edge here, just 1/4 away from the edge. Backstitch when you start and backstitch when you stop, and do that with both of your planner pockets, and I'll meet you guys back here. All right, so I've just sewed both of these sticker pockets to the planner pocket, so this is kind of what it would look like. It's attached now. Okay, so I'm gonna grab my scissors, trim off all these threads, keep the project neat and tidy. I hope you guys are having fun. I love making these. It seems kind of a little bit like, oh, I don't think I can do that. Or, you know, mine's gonna look like crap. No, it's gonna look great. It's gonna look great, and I can't wait to see your guys' pictures on Instagram or Facebook. All right, so now we've got our 4th and our 5th piece attached. Pretty cool, right? So, are you guys ready? It is now time to put together the planner and do one last sewing before you see it come together. Let's go. Okay, grab your pins, you're gonna need those. I'm gonna put those over here in the corner. I've got my front cover, which is gonna be the last thing that I'm gonna set down, so I'm gonna set that over here. First thing you wanna lay down is the inside piece of fabric. So this is the part that goes underneath your pockets and everything, okay? This is the part you only see about this much of once your planner cover is complete. And then you're gonna wanna grab your first planner pocket with the sticker pocket attached and line up these corners, okay? Like so. Oops, let's get that down there a little bit more. Like so, that side looks good. And since I've got it down, I'm just gonna place like a pin here and a pin here so it doesn't move on me, okay? Then grab the other one, line up the corners, like that. And just so this doesn't move, I'm gonna place a pin here. And let's place one up here. We're gonna take these out anyways and readjust. We just don't want this to move on us. Do you guys kind of see how this is coming together? So then if I pull my planner cover over here to show you guys and lay this open, you have to kind of like sometimes think about how this is arranged, which I've done the hard work for you and I'm gonna show you exactly how to do it. But like when you're just say, hey, I wanna make a cover set for something, you kind of have to see in your mind's eye, because all this is gonna be put together with the cover upside down sewn, and then you have to flip it inside out. So sometimes your brain kind of goes like, what? So anyways, your flap is gonna go on this end. So take your flap, decide which side you want to be on the front, which I think, I kind of like this purple and blue. So what you want to do is then find the center. I've got a board back here that is a ruler, so it's not hard for me. And so I'm just going to find the center, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and a quarter. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and a quarter. There we go. So that's about the center. So I'm going to find the center and I'm just going to overlap this. You guys can see there's just maybe like 1/4 of an inch. I'm just going to overlap that just a bit. And then I'm going to take 2 pins and pin it, okay? Make sure all your layers in the back, like this piece of fabric back here looks good and is laying flat. Nothing got bunched up. And do another one. Everything looks good. Okay. And then this is the last piece we're going to put on. Now, very important. This here, these snaps, need to be on the opposite side of your flap, okay? Very important to remember that. If you sew it with the snaps on this side like this, you're gonna turn it inside out and you're gonna cry because you're gonna have to rip it all out. So put your snaps on the opposite side of your flap, okay? So I'm gonna go like this. And you want the pretty sides, all these pretty sides touching the pretty side. I'm just gonna line that up. Everything looks good. Okay. And I'm gonna take this pin out, and what I wanna do is I wanna make an opening here. There's really no like set measurement for it. Just leave yourself like an opening big enough, you know, to put your hand through and pull everything out. So I'm just gonna go ahead and place a pin here. This is my stop, and this is my start for when I start sewing. You're gonna wanna back stitch really good here at both these when you start and then when you stop. Okay, so now we've got it all pinned up all the way around. If you flip it over, just check everything, make sure it looks good, there's no bunching. And now we're gonna go to the sewing machine. You guys are so close to flipping this baby inside out, and I am excited to flip this one inside out. I'm super excited for you guys because you've made it this far in the tutorial. So come over here, clip off your threads if you have any. Okay, and then what you want to do is you do not want to cut anything off of this opening where we're going to turn it inside out. Just leave that because you want enough of this fabric. You want a nice piece to flip, you know, tuck inside so you can sew, because we are going to sew one more time after we flip this all the way around. Okay, but come through here. I'll show you this up close. Come on, camera, focus. Come through here, and you want to get pretty close to that corner, but not so close that you're cutting the threads. Okay, and we're doing that because, see how thick this is? My scissors don't really want to cut through it. We're doing that because once we turn it inside out, you don't want there to be like a bunch of bulk, you know, a bunch of bulk through through these corners, you know, because you're gonna sew one more time. So just try to get as close as you can. If you're not comfortable going that close, just go a little bit less, no big deal. But do that to all your corners. Take off all the bulk. Okay, this looks pretty good. And this is where my flap's at. And you guys will notice in the video when I went through the flap, I did some back stitching here on the flap. Just a little bit of back stitching if your machine will allow you to with the layers. Just, you know, because we use the flap a lot, but I'm just gonna take that extra off the flap like so. I'm gonna do the last corner. I've got quite a bit of like some stuff going on here, so I'm just gonna take that off too. Most important thing, it's not rocket science, just don't get too close to the stitching, okay? Because you don't want it to come over. Just last check through. All right, looks good. All right, so grab your orange peeler for turning inside out, and then find your opening. This is a slow process. Do not rush this. Don't just jam your hand in there and like start trying to pull at the corners. Take it really nice and slow so you don't pull out any of your stitching, okay? Just enjoy it. So I'm just gonna reach in like so. I've got my finger on one corner. And I didn't speed this up because I really want you guys to see how I'm doing it and talk to you while I'm doing it. This might be a frustrating. This is almost like the birth of the planner, okay? Just nice and easy. Okay, and then I'm just kind of working the corner through. I'm gonna come to the other side. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is gonna be so pretty. So pretty. Okay. So now just come through with I usually use like my middle finger and my thumb, and I use that opening that we just pulled it through. And I just come in there and kind of find the corners with my thumb. I'm just poking those out. And then actually take your whatever you're using here to poke your corners out, go back into your planner and go to the other side. Just trying to get that corner out nice. I'll show you a little trick too. When we sew this, when we sew the outside edge, because that really gives it like the finish. You don't have to do that. You could just sew this little area here, but I like to sew the outside edge. But I'm gonna show you a little trick here. If your corners are just too dang thick and you can't get your machine through it, we can just kind of backstitch and skip over them, but I'll show you guys that. Okay, now that I've got my orange peeler in here, I'm gonna take it and just kind of run it. I'm just running it like along the edges because I want to push those edges out really nice. I don't want anything to be folded in. So now I'm coming along the bottom. Doing this like gently, you know, I don't want to pop through any stitching. And you can kind of work this with your hands too. Now I'm gonna go to the top, or the bottom in your case. Top, your bottom. I guess it would be your top. I'm getting pretty good at this filming upside down, sewing upside down thing. All right. Cool, so you guys see it coming together. Press all this out. You can just do a nice finger press, and we are gonna iron this, of course. And then what I like to do is if everything looks good, check everything here and make sure that none of your layers popped out, because you can flip this inside out again and go back through and kind of stitch and get those tucked back in, but everything looks really good. So come here to where your opening is, and you're just tucking these in, and I'm just gonna lean over it, and I'm just gonna kind of eye it, and then I'm gonna grab my pins and I'm gonna put a few pins in there. Okay, like that's not completely even, so I'm gonna just work it a little bit. Good enough. Okay, and maybe one right there, just for fun. Okay, that looks really good. All right, so take this to the iron, give it a nice press on both sides, press it here, press the other side. Do not get your iron on the snaps because they will melt, okay? And then meet me back here. Okay, so if you get to a corner and it's way too thick and your machine, you know it's gonna have problems because it just doesn't do good, or you've had some problems, you've had to take out some stitches and go back, All you need to do is get to that corner, and we're gonna put a few back stitches in. We're gonna lift the needle and the presser foot, and we're gonna pivot our planner and start on the next line, you know, the next line down, and do a little back stitch there when we start. And all you're doing is basically like starting and stopping and starting a whole new line of stitching, okay? Lift your needle, lift your foot. If you want, you can kind of even pull it out like that and get some extra thread there so you have something to cut off. And then come right back in towards the top as close to your corner as you can, back stitch, and then start again. Okay, so here it is, you guys. You did it! I'm so excited. If you've made it this far in the tutorial, or you're watching this while you're sewing, and you've made your own, freaking awesome, right? I'm just gonna come through, make sure all these threads are clipped out, and clip these threads where I showed you how to stop and start again on your corner. It's really common that the corners are too thick, you know, even for just a good machine, like if you're just using a hobby machine from like Walmart, which is what mine is, you know, it's just a machine from Walmart. But I will mention that if you don't want to have, if you want to have like as less bulk as possible in these edges, just make your interface a little bit smaller, like, because it's fusible, so it's going to stay where you want it to stay, but just make it so that it's cut a little bit smaller than your actual pieces, and then that will create less bulk here on the edge. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the last step, which is putting our snaps in. So here I've got the snaps, and I'm going to pick pink, and I'm going to need 2 of them. This is the prong cap pieces, and I'm also going to need 2 of the female pieces. Okay, set those aside. I've got my pliers and I've got my awl. All right, so then I'm going to take my planner, which is so exciting. Okay, and then I'm going to just take the back cover. I'm going to stick this in there like so. Okay, make sure it looks good. Okay, everything pans out well. And then I'm gonna take this, close it. And the way I've made this pattern, the reason I made the measurements how I made it is because I kind of like to see these tabs. Like, you could make this, if you guys want, like just a ½ inch longer, you know, so it would kind of like cover up all of this, but I kind of like it. I mean, it's a nice fit. Oops, it's a nice fit. Works really good. And so what you have to do now is get your pen. Okay, and then decide how tight you want this. So like I know with my planner pushed all the way to the edge here inside, I come through like this. What's a good angle for you guys? Yeah, I guess that's a good angle. And I take my flap. I know that I want my flaps to be about here. So then I just I'm just eyeing this, and I'm gonna put one right here. Make a mark. And then come down and do the second one. Let's do that one more time. Yep, right there. Okay. So then I just come through here with my awl, and I make a mark on my first hole, or excuse me, I make a hole on my first mark. Ooh, it's hot, you guys. It's 90 today, so, and I have the iron going in my studio, so, and I need a big glass of water. Okay, so then it's very important that you take your prong, so you have your flat side and then you have the prong side. You want to put the flat side so it's on the outside. So when you lay this out, your prong should be sticking up right here. Let me zoom in a little bit so you guys can see. There we go, you can see better now. Okay, so you can see that the prong is sticking out here. So then I take my female end and my pliers. Remember, don't kill it, just get it on there, right? If you kill it, you're either gonna snap this or you're gonna pucker this fabric around here. And then the next hole. Okay. Gosh, you guys, we're done. Totally done. Watch this, let me zoom out again. check this out. Holy smokes. Pretty cool, right? Keeps the planner clean. It's also nice for putting in your stickers or your pens. I'm also gonna put a video out on how to do a pen pouch that has elastic, so when you close this puppy up, you've got a pouch that elastics are all the way around. It just keeps everything nice and keeps everything together for when you sit down and have your coffee or your tea and do your planning. And then you've got nice pockets to put all your stickers in, even your pen if you wanted to. So I'm really excited to see what you guys come up with, what fabrics you use, and how you like the tutorial. If you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like and a comment down below and let me know what you want to see next time. I can't wait to make more things for you guys, and I hope to see you here on the next tutorial. Bye!